was blessed a long time ago to invest my money the right way and, put...
What you think about me, I don't care what you say about me. You're not in the position that I'm in.
Mm-hmm. Terence Crawford is done entertaining Floyd Mayweather's jabs. After Floyd dismissed Crawford's win as undeserved and even leaked a private sparring video, Crawford hit back with a bombshell revelation. Floyd owes him money, a staggering $31 million. According to Crawford, the debt dates all the way back to the early days of their relationship. This claim surfaced just as Floyd once again found himself in one of his familiar financial controversies, being sued in Las Vegas for failing to pay for luxury cars only days ago. To Crawford, this isn't coincidence. He believes Floyd is scrambling for validation on the internet, while in reality, his financial situation may not be as flashy as he portrays.
I couldn't choose a better guy for the job.
He's gonna make you hundreds of millions, you say?
Hundreds of millions, it sounds good, but we're in the billionaires club.
This lawsuit, which sparked Crawford's fiery reaction, was filed less than 10 days ago in Clark County District Court. It paints a troubling picture of the former champion's finances. Both Floyd Mayweather and Mayweather Promotions LLC were named in the complaint, with Vegas Auto Gallery accusing Floyd of purchasing 4 high-end vehicles worth over $2 million on July 3rd. The list of cars was as flashy as expected: a 2018 Mercedes Maybach, a 2023 Ferrari, a 2023 Porsche, and even a 2025 McLaren. But according to court filings, Mayweather handed over 2 checks, one for $1.6 million and another for $650,000, only to later instruct the dealership not to deposit them.
That they did some shady practices. Well, this is a response to their lawsuit that he bought 4 cars in the amount of $2.3 million back in July. And one of the cars was $1.2 million, which was a 2018 special edition Maybach. I don't know, something really, really fancy. Very, very rare.
Instead of paying, Floyd took a different route. He flaunted the purchase on Instagram, showing off the cars to his 29 million followers. According to the dealership, Mayweather never truly intended to own the vehicles. They claim the cars were nothing more than props, used to keep alive the flashy Money Mayweather persona. In the end, Floyd returned 3 of the cars and agreed to keep only the Mercedes Maybach under a settlement worth $1.2 million. But here's the catch. Even after that agreement, he still never paid.
Got options. I got about 100 cars. But right here, we like to call this the Sweet 16.
By signing the settlement, Floyd and Mayweather Promotions essentially confessed to the debt. That meant they were acknowledging up front that the money was owed and could not be disputed later if payments were missed. Yet even with such a binding agreement in place, the dealership claims Floyd blew past multiple deadlines, despite being given extensions. Attorney Michael Cristalli, representing Vegas Auto Gallery, put it bluntly, "Our filing speaks for itself." Despite Mr. Mayweather buying the vehicles, tendering checks, and executing purchase agreements, he refused to pay for the vehicles.
$5 million. That's an incredible amount of money. And then they go, "That's true, but you owe 50 more." And he's just like, that can't be right.
This type of claim is not new when it comes to Mayweather. Over the years, a pattern has emerged, with multiple businesses accusing him of late payments or outright refusal to pay for goods and services. From unpaid wages at his now closed Las Vegas strip club, girl collection, to ongoing disputes with jewelers and event promoters, Floyd has repeatedly been tied to the same theme. The man who has built his entire persona around flaunting wealth, ironically, often finds himself entangled in lawsuits and debt controversies.
I mean, dang, Floyd Money Mayweather. Man, wow, y'all around here getting Rolexes, not paying for them. Man, y'all got stacks of money, owing jewelers money. Man, how y'all around here, man, getting millions of dollars in all this jewelry and leaving 208?
That is where Crawford's comments really land. For him to suddenly declare that Floyd owes him around $31 million is not coming out of nowhere. Crawford's camp has been tight-lipped about specifics, but the context leaves a few strong possibilities. One theory is that Crawford is referencing the earnings he believes slipped away when the long-rumored Mayweather fight never materialized. By 2017, when Floyd retired, Crawford was rapidly climbing the pound-for-pound ladder. He was already a unified champion at 140 pounds and on the verge of domination at welterweight. a Mayweather-Crawford showdown at that moment would have been a blockbuster event, likely generating hundreds of millions in pay-per-view revenue. From Crawford's perspective, missing out on that mega fight may have cost him a fortune, and perhaps that's the money he's now alluding to.
I know life is hard, I know life is expensive, but come on, dude, put your legacy first. Nobody wants...
Another possibility is business dealings outside the ring. Mayweather's promotional arm has been involved with countless fighters, events, and joint ventures over the years. Disputes over unpaid percentages, marketing cuts, or promotional obligations are nothing new in the boxing world, and it's not far-fetched to think Crawford's claim ties back to some form of financial fallout. What makes this even more striking is the timing. Crawford's words came after a private sparring clip of him, and Floyd began circulating online. In the boxing culture, sparring is sacred. The gym is a space where champions test themselves, sharpen tools, and take risks they would never show under the bright lights. What happens there is meant to stay behind closed doors. That's why leaking sparring footage is viewed as a serious violation of trust. For Crawford, the release of that video wasn't just a cheap shot. It may have been the final straw that pushed him to call Floyd out, not only for the footage, but also for the money he claims has been owed for years.
Money Man is getting ready. Super Bowl weekend, Las Vegas. You had to get the ones. Make it rain. Yeah. I need everybody. Had girl collection, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the Super Bowl, or whoever win or lose, it don't matter. I need everybody there. Girl collection.
The irony is sharp. Floyd's entire persona has always been built on two pillars: an undefeated record and untouchable wealth. The brand of 50-0 and the money team became inseparable from who he was, both inside and outside the ring. But now, with lawsuits piling up over bounced checks and unpaid luxury cars, that image looks increasingly fragile. On the other side stands Terence Crawford, the man who just etched his name into history as the only fighter to become undisputed in 3 divisions during the 4-belt era. That achievement gives him the authority and credibility to fire back at Mayweather without hesitation. Crawford is no longer chasing validation. He has the belts, the accolades, and the victories that demand respect. And when he calls Floyd out, it's not just trash talk. It hits at the very foundation of Floyd's carefully constructed empire.
So the money's really gone?
Yeah, that's what you think. It's get the money, spend the money.
All that money?
And it's been 2 years.
So is it just his overhead is so high on a day-to-day, month-to-month? Like
I don't even want to talk about it. Like within lifestyle, that money's gone, trust me. Now it's like, you call him, he'll be at you.
The Vegas Auto Gallery case exposes just how fragile the Money Mayweather persona becomes when dragged under courtroom lights. According to the filings, Floyd didn't just fail to pay, he allegedly went on the offensive, blasting the dealership to his millions of followers and warning them to stay away. The dealership now claims those posts sparked harassment and threats from Floyd's supporters, turning a business dispute into a smear campaign. For the dealership, this isn't only about the missing $1.2 million, it's about reputational damage that lingers long after the cars are gone. For Floyd, it paints the picture of a man fighting 2 parallel battles, one in the courtroom, where the facts are stacked against him, and another on social media, where he tries to spin the narrative. Publicly, he still flaunts wealth and invincibility. Privately, the cracks are harder to hide.
And then about the whole 50 Cent story, you gotta hear
accusations that Floyd Mayweather has unpaid debts with fellow athletes. A widely known allegation comes from rapper 50 Cent, who accused Floyd of cheating him out of $2 million during his jail sentence.
Then when
are we talking over $2 million?
It's about that.
Oh, okay.
At that point, it was, invested in.
All right.
So look, he goes, when he finally does bring up that.
Crawford himself has taken a very different approach when it comes to money and control. After years of disputes under Top Rank, he walked away, betting on himself in the Errol Spence Jr. fight, a gamble that paid off in historic fashion. That victory didn't just cement his boxing legacy, it secured his financial independence, proving he could thrive outside of the traditional promotional system. Now, standing as the only man to become undisputed in 3 different divisions in the 4-belt era, Crawford speaks from a position of strength. When he points at Floyd, it's not only as a critic of the money image, but as a man who has built his own empire on different terms. In his eyes, he's not just chasing Mayweather's legacy, he's reshaping it. showing that greatness in the modern era doesn't have to come with the same controversies and cracks in the armor.
We're gonna get to it. What's up? We're gonna get to it. International with it.
Meanwhile, Floyd's lawyers are scrambling to flip the car case back on the dealership, accusing Vegas Auto Gallery of fraud and claiming they withheld key documents like the odometer certification. But legal experts have already dismissed the countersuit as flimsy at best, with Cristalli calling it frivolous and ridiculous. At the end of the day, it highlights Floyd's biggest struggle. His legal maneuvers don't look nearly as strong as the growing pile of evidence that he simply didn't pay.
I believe in building generational wealth. Even like when my children, all 4 of my children are adults. And I told them, no more handouts. Because I feel like I'm hurting my children just by, I give them money, they go shopping, they put gas in their car, they party, they come back, I need money. I give them money, I buy them houses, I buy them cars. Told them, listen, if you guys go to school or you work in one of my businesses.
With Floyd facing financial and legal battles, Crawford fired back at his criticism that beating Canelo was easy because Canelo was washed up. Crawford dismissed that claim, revealing he had come in with a precise game plan, and part of it even borrowed from Floyd's own playbook. In an interview with Inside the Ring, Crawford explained that he had studied history. He watched how Floyd Mayweather Jr. dismantled Canelo with elusive defense, how Dimitri Bivol shut him down with discipline and range, and even how William Skull exposed Canelo's limited mobility. I knew I was going to beat him, Crawford said flatly. Whenever Canelo faced a style like mine, he struggled. I had all those weapons and more.
It became a fight where Crawford made it where Canelo, to have any chance, he had to go get close. So he had to go through a bad neighborhood.
Yep.
And Crawford mugged him. It's that simple. He had to go through a bad neighborhood to get anything done, to get to the place that something was going to be done good.
Yeah.
And he got mugged going through that neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Well, if I think about it, if I do come back and you...
Despite the grand stage, the fight opened under a cloud of quiet expectation. Most believed Alvarez's sheer size and power would decide it long before the final bell. Canelo pressed forward early, trying to impose his strength, but quickly ran into a wall of precision. Crawford slipped, blocked, and countered with a calm patience that chipped away at the Mexican star. His shots weren't wild or flashy, but each one landed with purpose. Round by round, the so-called size advantage looked less and less threatening. Even as the pace quickened, Crawford insisted Alvarez's power never rattled him. "There's never been a formula to beat Terence Crawford," he said. So I knew I had a good chance of winning. While the crowd sat on edge, waiting for Canelo's signature explosion, Crawford was quietly assembling a masterpiece of control. By the time the championship rounds neared, his corner gave a chilling reminder. They're not going to give it to you.
Shout-outs to Crawford. You did it, boy. You did it. For those who still aren't quite sure what they witnessed last night, I'm going to let you know that you witnessed what is called a notorious boxing clinic. This is everything done right, okay? First,
Crawford responded with urgency, lifting the tempo and seizing full control of the closing rounds. His precision and pressure left no doubt who owned the ring. By the time the final bell echoed, the decision was merely a formality. The judges' scorecards confirmed what the world had witnessed, dominance in its purest form. The win pushed Crawford's record to 42-0 with 31 knockouts, an immaculate ledger now tied to history. He became the first fighter ever to unify all 4 major belts across 3 separate divisions, a feat unmatched in the 4-belt era. To find a comparison, you'd have to reach back nearly a century to Henry Armstrong in 1938, when the meaning of undisputed was different but just as rare.
To be honest, when I set my sights on doing something and I know what I'm capable of, it's not like a surprise to me. It's a surprise to y'all because y'all didn't believe me, but for me, I knew I could do it and I believed that I could do it. I just needed the opportunity.
Terence, when did you know that you were gonna be?
And yet in the aftermath, Crawford's demeanor was almost unsettling in its calm. "I don't feel anything special. It was meant to be, he said, as if rewriting history was simply routine. That perhaps is the most revealing part of his story. Greatness to Crawford feels inevitable, not miraculous. Now, however, the spotlight circles back to Floyd. Crawford brushed aside Mayweather's attempt to dismiss his win, reminding everyone that Floyd has his own storms to weather. Courtrooms, not boxing rings, are where his battles are being fought. Unpaid luxury cars, lawsuits, and desperate searches for big-name events to stay relevant. For Crawford, the criticism rings hollow. He fights for legacy. Floyd, it seems, is fighting for something else entirely.
See, I think that for me, I watch defense as much as I watch offense. So, like I thought, like watching Bud catch those shots off his glove.
He looked amazing.
So amazing.
Yeah, he looked good.
Yeah. He'd go to a body and he'd catch that and come up with an uppercut. You know, just all those things that seem.
He looked great.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody do that ever.
No one has.
Mayweather has already inked a deal to face heavyweight legend Mike Tyson next year. Officially, it's billed as an exhibition, but the subtext is hard to miss. Floyd enters the ring not just with Tyson, but with a $1.2 million debt judgment from the Vegas Auto Gallery hanging over his name. Another mega payday fits the same script his critics have recited for years. When the bills stack up, Mayweather finds the spotlight, and now he's teasing an even bigger move. In a recent interview, Floyd admitted that talks are underway for a rematch with Manny Pacquiao. Nothing is finalized, but the fact that the door is open reveals plenty. For some, it's nostalgia. For others, it's proof that Floyd is still chasing checks while Crawford is chasing legacy.
We getting ready.
Pacquiao's advisor, Sean Gibbons, confirmed the renewed interest, noting that the groundwork had been laid years ago. Back in 2019, Pacquiao signed with PBC and Al Heyman with the intention of securing Mayweather-Pacquiao 2. But Floyd pulled away. Even when Pacquiao rejuvenated his career by defeating Adrian Broner and shocking Keith Thurman, Mayweather wanted no part of it, so much so that he left the arena before the Thurman decision was even announced. That window closed when Pacquiao was upset by Yordenis Ugas, seemingly marking the end of an era. But boxing never stays retired for long. Now Pacquiao is back, and with Floyd once again hinting at the rematch, the stage is being set for a revival of one of the sport's most lucrative rivalries. The question is whether this is about legacy or about cashing in one last time.
You would even fight him today?
Even here.
Oh my goodness. Tell me about that fight a little bit. Being in there with Floyd being in there with you, like what was the experience like being there? In the ring, fighting him finally?
It's good, but despite all those things, but then after the fight, right after the fight, I went to the hospital and got operated. My
yeah, you got an operation, yeah. I remember you posted a picture of
really hurt.
Was he better?
For Crawford, this is exactly why he has no patience for Floyd's critiques. While Floyd dismisses his win over Canelo as easy, Crawford points to reality. He fought Alvarez when it mattered, followed a precise game plan, and carved his name into history. Floyd, meanwhile, is chasing exhibitions, trying to turn his name into fast cash while fighting off lawsuits in the courtroom. To Crawford, the difference is obvious. One man is building a legacy, the other is just building paydays. And with legal troubles stacking higher by the day, Floyd's chase for money looks less like a choice, and more like a necessity. What do you think? Is Mayweather still in control of his story, or has Crawford already taken that crown?